Here's the top 5 questions on Dexter Cattle Calving. Hey guys, welcome back to Dexter Ranch. Hope everybody's doing well on this Thanksgiving week. In today's video, we're going to go through the top 5 questions I get asked about Dexter Cattle Calving. And as usual, I've saved the best and most important for last, so be sure to stay to the end. The first question I get asked is, should the cow be given time to rest or be separated from the bull for a while after calving? So to answer this one, for me anyways, in farming, I think it's best if I stay aware and remember that God created these animals to do all of this stuff perfectly without any of my help. And if I remember that, then it will help me to avoid sticking my nose in different places where I'm not necessarily needed. A lot of times as humans, we overdo these things thinking that we know better than everything a lot of times. But I use that concept a lot when I'm making decisions about the cattle, is that they were designed perfectly, and people say, well, then why do cows sometimes need help pushing a calf out? Well, this is one of the things about Dexter cattle that they really shine at, is being able to calve on their own. And the reason why Dexters have maintained that ability is because they were never commercialized. They were never really taken to a point to where somebody was really trying to make money off of them. Where your breeds that end up in, your Walmart and your Dillons and things like this, your supermarkets, as humans, we've taken those and tried to make them bigger and more profitable, and done things to them in order to do that. And after we did that to those breeds, then they began having those problems. Like I said, I try to remember that in a lot of different decisions that I make, but the short answer to the question is no. The second question I get is, how do you know if she's pregnant? And the best way that I've found, outside of just seeing the bull do his work or testing, is by observing heat cycles. A cow has a heat cycle every 21 days. So what I do is, when I see a cow showing that she's in heat, I'll set an event on my phone for 20 days after that date. And when I get a notification in 20 days, then I know to pay attention to that particular cow. And if I don't notice her showing signs of being in heat at that time, then I can assume that she's pregnant. Now, late in pregnancy, of course, the cow will show physical signs of being pregnant as a human would. But if you want to know early, observing heat cycles is going to be your best bet. And the third question on the list is, what should I watch for right after the calf is born? And the most important thing that needs to happen directly after the calf being born is for the cow to begin licking the calf. And what this does is it stimulates the blood and the oxygen in the calf, along with getting it to dry out quickly in order to bring its body temperature up. And this is really important in the winter months. The other thing to watch for is the calf being able to stand within a reasonable amount of time. Now, in my experience, that time frame is roughly 10 minutes or so after hitting the ground. And I would be very concerned if the calf wasn't at least trying to stand within the first half hour. So those are the two most important things that need to happen directly after the calf being born. Number 4 is, when do you wean your calves? And the answer to this one is, I don't. Again, back to that God's design thing, it just works. As soon as she gets really close to having that next calf, she will no longer feed the previous one. I've never had a cow on my farm that was feeding her last calf and feeding the new calf at the same time. Now, I understand the logistics behind why people decide to do weaning on their farm, but if you have a small operation like mine where your cattle generally stay together for the most part, I just don't see any real reason to do weaning. They know exactly when and how to do it, and they'll make it happen all on their own. But if this is something that you're interested in doing on your farm and you're just looking for when is a safe age to wean, then the general answer would be 7 to 8 months. And the 5th, final, and most important question that I receive is, how long after calving should it take for the cow to be bred again? And my answer, based on my experience, is they should be rebred by their 2nd cycle after calving. This is the most common time frame that I see on my farm. Now, I do have some cows that will be bred again on their 1st cycle after calving, but for the most part, what I see is the cow will try her best to avoid being bred on the 1st cycle after calving and then get bred again on the 2nd cycle after calving. If a cow's went through 4 or 5 or 6 cycles after calving and hasn't been bred again, then that would be concerning to me and would probably be something that I would look at possibly not keeping that cow on the farm anymore. But one thing to point out on this question that I think is interesting is I did purchase a cow that I knew, because the people that sold it to me told me that it had missed an entire season of having a calf. Now, all the other cows on their farm had calved that year, but she didn't. And I went ahead and bought her anyways. Every year that she has been at my farm, she's had a calf. So, generally speaking, when we talk about this problem, we kind of blame it on the cow. But in this situation, you know, obviously the bull was getting the other cows pregnant on that farm, so for the most part he was doing his job, but for whatever reason he didn't get this cow pregnant. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up to point out that it's not always just the cow's fault. So just food for thought. So there you have it, guys. Answers to the 5 most asked questions about Dexter Cattle Calving. If this was interesting and or helpful for you, make sure you hit the like button. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing to Dexter Ranch. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.